All right, here we go. This is lesson 5.3, stem and leaf graphs. First thing we need to know is that a stem and leaf graph is a measure of spread. That is, it shows us the shape of the graph. Let me show you some possible bar graphs that you might have seen back maybe in the papers that you've read or that kind of thing. But this first bar graph at the top is kind of what we would refer to as a normal graph. More people are in the middle, and in general we talk about like where's the center. So here's the center of the data, whereas here the data's off to the right. And on this one here, the center of the data is off to the left. Okay, and then we have two tails, and the tails are on either end. And so this one is bell-shaped, and it's a normal. There's no skew. The one in the second is stretched to the left, so we say it's skewed to the left. There's no right tail; it's completely gone. And likewise on the bottom, skewed to the right. There's no left tail to that data. All right. When you summarize data, after you make graphs, you're going to be asked to summarize that. That'll be part of your report. We're going to use this acronym to summarize the data. That is, we need to talk about the following things. First of all, shape. Shape refers to what is the spread. I shouldn't use spread because that's actually one of the words. What is the skew of the data? All right, is it skewed left? Is it centered? Are there tails? Are there no tails? Second, are there outliers? Are there values by themselves on either end? Sometimes we get a little value like way over here, right? And that often is referred to as a outlier. And we'll talk about what that means a little bit more in the next lesson. Context. So the data, what does it mean? What is the significance of the data? What do the numbers mean? Significance. I think I spelled that right. No, I think it's an A. All right. No, definitely not an A. Okay, so we need to talk about the context of the data, meaning what do the numbers mean? What do they represent? Centers, mean, median, and mode are the main centers that you need to talk about. The range should be talked about down here. Okay, how spread out is the data? We'll also talk about something in the next section called quartiles, and that's also interesting to talk about in the spread. Excuse me. Okay. So this is kind of super important when we summarize the data. All right, well, what is a stem and leaf graph? Well, here's a stem and a leaf graph as we might think about in a science class or in nature, biology. But in math, when we talk about the last digit of the number, that's called the leaf. And then the rest of the number is called the stem. For example, 147. 14 is the stem because 7 is the leaf. The year that we're in, the stem would be 202 because 1 is the leaf. If you're looking at a price, the leaf would be 5 and the stem would be 299. Again, we would need to interpret that number. This is how we would, I'm going to talk about a key here in a moment. So we would say 29, 9-5 is 29.95. So that way people would know how to read our stem and leaf graphs. Okay? All right, well, here's a stem and leaf graph, the way that it looks. And you'll see it looks a little bit like a bar graph because there's a the data is collected off to the right. And so we have this shape that we can see in a bar graph. And that's how we're going to see it in our stem and leaf graphs with the numbers. The key is important. Make sure you read your key. Okay, so if a 2 is the stem and 5 is the leaf, then we read that as 25. And we can see that 25 right here. There's a 2 and there's the 5. Next to it is this 27, and in front of it is a 24, and then another 24. In fact, there are 6 20s. Okay, it is not quite the most popular, but certainly there. We can see the largest number is 50. In fact, there are 2 50s in this list. The smallest number is 6. I can also see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 rows, so that would be 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus another 3. So what do I got? I got 12 plus 9 is 21, so I have 31 different data values in my chart. Now the reason I do that is because I need to know where the middle is. Well, what's half of 31? Half of 31 is 15 and a half. So that means between the 15th and the 16th value is going to be my median. All right, so we can put the low number here as 6, the high is 50. I can figure out the range of numbers is 44 because I can subtract those. And now I'm going to count to find the 15th number. So let's see, we've got 2 plus 5 is 7, 10, 13, and then I would have to work backwards, so that's 15. And then there would be another 15 values. Let's verify that with another color. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we have 15, that would be the middle of my data. So 24. We can also see the most popular numbers showing up in this chart. I have 3 7s in this row, which means that my mode is 17. All right, so we can collect a lot of information quickly from a stem and leaf graph. You're going to be asked to build stem and leaf graphs like this. Oh, one last thing before I go with it. Don't skip stems, meaning, let me erase this over here. Don't skip stems. So let's say one of my data items was, my largest item was 75. And notice in my stem 6, there would be nothing. Well, you need to have the stem 6 there, and then make sure that it's blank, there's nothing after it, and then you just have a 75. Okay, so don't ignore this stem. Put it there, please, even though there's no particular data values for it. All right, well, what you normally do when you get your data is find the smallest number. In this case, I think 10 is my smallest and 60 is my largest. So this clearly lends itself to saying that there is going to be 6 stems, and that's kind of a minimum. If you're getting 5 stems, you probably can be okay. Anything less than 5, though, you've got to like somehow figure it out so that it's more. So 10 to 60, again, we'll take the stem as just being the first number and the leaf as the last number. And then you would just start taking count. So here's my 3 10s. So I would go 10, 8, and 9. Okay, and notice how I put no commas between them. Okay, no punctuation, just the single digits after. And then you would continue on and you would see, well, there is no 20s. Okay, so make sure that this stem is empty, right? I'm not going to put anything there. We'll go to the 30s. And we see that there is all these 30s, and you probably want to mark them with something different in your chart so that you can recognize them, right, differently from the other ones. And it's so easy to lose track of them. So 0, 3, and then 2 6s. 0, 3, and 2 6s, and several 7s. So I got the 30s, and the 36s, and the 37. So I've got a 38 and 2 39s. Well, you get the picture, except there I went and put it in the 20 slot. So easy to do. So we need to make sure that that's in the 30 slot. So on and so forth. You're going to fill out your chart. Let me look at a stem and leaf plot that has too few stems in it. It's only got four stems, from 2 to 5. And that's no good. So one of the reasons it's no good is we can't really, there's not much to the shape of this data, right? It looks fairly normal distributed. And if we expand it out and create what we call a split stem and plot, this gives us more information. So our first 2 is not going to be all the 20s, but just the 20s from 20 to 24. And my second will go from 25 to 29. Now, we don't need to write that out. The reader can figure this out from the chart. So again, 30 to 34, and this would be 35 to 39. And when we do this with that same data that I have over here, right? If I just take it and I plot it out in this split, I can now see that I have a double hump of data. So I've got a bunch in the 30 to 5 to 39 and the 45 to 49. Okay, and we can see that we have a mode here. This might be an outlier. We'd have to do some analysis. I don't think it is, but it could be. So I would say this is skewed. The shape of the data is skewed to the left, or in this case, we can think of it as up to the smaller values. Outliers, right? Are there any outliers? Well, there are 2 outliers, possibly. Okay, and I'll say possibly now because we need a definition of what that is. Possibly 20 and 22. The context, all we are given in this problem is that these are ages. We don't know if this is ages for salaries or rides on an amusement park or deaths. Who knows what these ages are. What was the next C? That was centers. What are the centers? Well, again, we need to find the mean, the median, and the mode. I think we found the mode there quickly. We got 47 is the mode, right? And then finally, what is the spread of the data? Well, there appears to be, let's see, from 20 to 54. So 54 minus 20. The range is 30. Okay, so 34 is the range. And there is a double center, we'll call it. Okay, it's almost like saying there's a bimodal nature to this graph, meaning there's a bunch of here and there's a bunch that are collected here in the 45s. And that should be of interest to us and useful to us. Okay? Good luck in doing your homework.